The Saints have finished the latest phase of training camp and are headed to an off day. Hi again, everybody. Welcome into the Saints Training Camp Report. With John DeShazier, I'm Sean Kelley, and here on this Monday, we end another phase of camp, John, with a bit of a shorter practice here for Sean Payton and the Saints, heading into, as we mentioned, a very valuable scheduled off day for the black and gold.
Yeah, they probably need to get off their feet right now. Obviously, the off day is extremely valuable for any team in training camp, but they've been going at it, and they've been going at it pretty hard for the last several consecutive days, so they're due an off day.
Yeah, 3 straight days outdoors, the previous 2 days in full pads. Today, I would say half pads, shorts, shoulder pads, helmets. Unfortunately for the Saints, it probably wasn't their best practice, John, of training camp.
Yeah, they won't all be good, but trust me, I don't think anybody is well pleased with this one. It started sloppy. In a lot of periods, it didn't really improve a whole lot. I think it got a little bit better at the end execution-wise, but certainly not one of their better days.
Head coach Sean Payton on the day that wasn't so great.
I didn't think it was particularly one of our better days. I thought it was a little sloppy. It started out that way. Plan was to get it, into some more team drills specific, and they'll be off tomorrow, and we'll get started again on Wednesday.
We talked to several players after practice, and they were on the same page as head coach Sean Payton. Shane Vereen, one of them. John, another guy was Larry Warford.
Yeah, Larry Warford pretty much echoed what Coach Payton said. And I mean, you can't fool anyone. The film doesn't lie, and players, unfortunately, don't lie to you either. When they see a not great effort, they'll let you know about it.
Yeah, Larry Warford, of course, the starting guard for the Saints, spoke about today's practice.
Today's practice wasn't the best one. Definitely, I think to start initially, it was just kind of slow. We're making a few mental mistakes, you can't have that. You can't expect to start fast in the game if you can't do it in practice right now. So, but we, the guy, what was impressive is that the guys, the players, took it upon themselves to get the team going, and I think we finished pretty well. So, that's a plus. But we got to start fast. We got to start fast every practice.
On the good news front, Tommy Lee Lewis back on the practice field today. He was working off to the side just as recently as yesterday, but after being out for just a little over a week, good to see number 11 out there, John.
Yeah, he needs to get on the field because, I mean, there's competition at his position at receiver. There's competition at his position as a returner. So he needs to get back out there and remind the coaching staff exactly what you can do because, look, it's not what you did in the past when you're Tommy Lee Lewis. It's what have you done for me today.
Yes, we all know Tommy Lee Lewis. He's been a part of this roster for some time, and the fact that he's in a competition speaks a lot about the wide receiver group. Of course, it's heavy at the top. We already know who's there, number 13. Michael Thomas. Traquan Smith's been having a good go of it. The veteran Ted Ginn Jr. is always in the conversation too. But right now there's this young group of wide receivers trying to make a little bit of a push. Sometimes it has to be on special teams, and it's a guy like Keith Kirkwood, who's a rookie out of Temple. John, he's got good length, 6'3", 6'4". You see his number come up quite a bit here during practices.
He's a guy who's made some noticeable catches in practice, and those are the things that stand out. Those are the things that make quarterbacks trust you. You earn those catches because you're able to produce under duress. So he's a guy who's had a pretty good camp.
24 years old. I want to say he started his college career at Hawaii, then transferred to Temple. He's originally from New Jersey.
In college, I knew what type of player I wanted to be. I wanted to be that player that was smart, very flexible, could do whatever the coaches needed to win the game. So I wasn't a guy that had 1,000 yards, 15 touchdowns, and was projected to be a first-round draft pick. I knew where my role was, and I knew what I had to do to be one of the best players in college football. Not to be known to everybody, but just that underrated player that is going to make a name for himself.
And what were your interactions with the Saints, before you ended up here?
Yeah, it was pretty cool because I really didn't speak to the Saints as much. I only talked to Coach Johnson, CJ, one time, and he just told me they wanted me. And I just from hearing his voice, I just knew he was determined to get me here to be a New Orleans Saint. I knew I wasn't going to be drafted, so I had my mindset, when the things all boiled down, I wanted to be a New Orleans Saint.
So we'll keep an eye on number 18 and many others as we continue to progress toward Friday's preseason game. It'll be the second one, obviously, and it's against the Arizona Cardinals on Friday. John, any other news and notes here from today's practice?
Well, I think Cameron Meredith was not at practice, and we're not exactly sure what his status is going to be. Defensive end, the rookie, Marcus Davenport, again, not at practice, and certainly his progress is critical to what you want to do defensively. So hopefully both of those two guys will be able to get back on the field, but right now they simply have not been able to go.
All right, one last thing about this final phase, or this final stretch of this phase. Yesterday, a bit of a team building day, a little bit of a break for the team. John, instead of the afternoon walkthrough, they did have a team activity.
Yeah, they went to a movie together, and that's one of those things where you give the players a little bit of a treat, give them some incentive, maybe spring it on them at the last second that they won't be going back on the field through the walkthrough. And even though it's a walkthrough, look, it gets to be tedious and it gets to be a grind. And so every little nugget and every little carrot that you can throw to a team, it kind of gives them a little bit more energy.
Coming up later in our program, we'll set up the rest of the week for you, all that following tomorrow's scheduled off day.